They do, they gotta get a light.
That's right.
Someone's on there.
Somebody's, yeah. There was, I had a status report.
You have a status?
I do. Yeah, sorry. I got one too. I saw.
Oh, here it is. I got one.
You got one, okay.
Yeah, it's the last one's 7:30.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that.
Right. Especially within 100% legal
Right.
within the file.
Fits. Now,
Yeah, it's on. It's, the camera was already faced that way.
Right. There's no moral end. It's just a.
Go ahead.
Okay, the July meeting of the Area Planning Commission will come to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Ryan Baker,
Here.
Tammy Bolin, James Chrisman, John Collette,
Here.
Jim Crawley,
Here.
Chuck Ennis, Jeff Ford, Norm Froderman,
Here.
Don Folk,
Here.
John Hanley,
Here.
Debbie May,
here.
Chris Schweitzer, William Verdine,
Here.
Fred Wilson.
Present. Like there, we do have a quorum. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I think everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes and the status report. Are there any corrections? If not, I need a motion.
Motion to accept.
Have a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there anything from the public other than what I know about? Okay. Any questions about the plat committee reports by anyone? Okay. First item, director's report. Okay. Director's report.
Good evening. In addition to what was submitted as part of the written report, I just have a couple of other things. One, the staff reports for Knoll Meadows needed some updating. Consequently, I printed you out a clean copy that you have there as a handout in front of you. There are also letters of remonstrance on that same item. We'll come to those when we hit that agenda item. We have an overflow crowd this evening, so Penny is directing traffic for us. At some point in time, we may need to pause to allow various groups to switch out as those agenda items approach. I can help with that if you need some direction. Otherwise, that will be it this evening.
Any questions for our director?
Motion to accept his report.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, the first item is docket number 32, file 17/2021, RSBR Lafayette Avenue Sub.
The property is commonly associated with 2253 and 2247 Lafayette Avenue, 1.96 acres, accessed along Lafayette Avenue. The surveyor is Mr. Myers. The request is to replat portions of 3 lots into 1 new lot for commercial development. Health Department is approved. Sanitary sewer is available. It is preferred that the line on 25th Street be utilized. The lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirement. The area is well served with utilities. The new lot is a mix of R1 and C2. Accordingly, a rezoning will be needed. The plat indicates C3 zoning. There is a petition to rezone the property to C3. If the rezoning is denied, then the plat will need to be corrected. Right-of-way was recently conveyed to the city of Terre Haute for the roadway expansion. No additional right-of-way should be needed. All existing infrastructure should be in place. The approval of this plat is contingent upon the plat being recorded by April 7th, 2022, after the plat is dated and signed by the president and attested by the secretary of the commission. We offer favorable with the following conditions: a commercial road cut permit, drainage and erosion control plan approval, approval of the site plan from city engineering, and approval of the rezoning. Okay, moving along to the rezoning for the same site. Okay. This is special ordinance number 19-21. The property owner is Juanita Branham, represented by Mr., I believe it's Boucher. The proposed zoning is C3 Regional Commercial District. The proposed use is a 10,640 square foot Dollar General retail store. Of course, we know the common addresses to be 2247 and 2253 Lafayette Avenue. This area is identified as an enhancement area. It's well served by utilities. Surrounding uses are to the north, R3 and C6. To the west, south, and east is R1. South also has an R1 planned development. The proposed development at this location ties in closely with what is recommended in the comprehensive plan. In enhancement areas, one can find neighborhood and commercial areas that are small-scale retail activity clusters or planned centers that serve limited market areas, typically 4 to 10,000 people. They provide shopping opportunities for those most frequently purchased goods and services. Most importantly, these areas should relate to surrounding residential neighborhoods, but not adversely impact the livability of those neighborhoods through traffic, lighting, noise, litter, or other impacts. The C3 zoning classification was selected due to the building plan exceeding the maximum square requirement in the C2 zoning classification. It is unknown what will happen to the Dollar General located at 25th and Lafayette if this project is approved. Staff would offer a favorable recommendation so long as all future site plans meet code and must be approved by city engineering and approval of the major subdivision of the property.
Okay, is the petitioner present?
Hold on. We put an article in the paper. We did that for you, yes. Yes.
We like to take care of you. Yeah, I hope you're prepared anyway.
So we sent out the mailing as well.
It was, because we did that also.
Well, in that case, we've got everything in order. But
You're very welcome. Okay, any questions from the planning commission? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this petition? We have a motion.
I would move we approve the subdivision and offer a favorable recommendation for the rezoning.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, the next item is docket number 39, Special Ordinance 19, 2021, 2247 and 2253 Lafayette Avenue from a C2 to an R1 to a C3 Regional Commercial District.
We just did.
Chris did that one.
We did two of them together.
Right.
I'll tell you what, somebody took my packet, put a 32 in it, that just had me all screwed
Right.
up. Okay.
We did have two docket number 39s, you know.
Okay.
The docket we just approved was number 39 and also Noel Meadows.
Yeah.
It says 39 on my sheet. It says
For the
39
special
on yours.
ordinance.
The one we just approved. I have 230.
32 and 39.
There's a 34.
Oh, the second part of it.
Or you're talking about the subdivision.
We're talking about
Rezoning.
the file number different, but.
We just
We
approved
also
two.
included
5253,
but it included
Right.
zoning, which was Dr.
Which is-
35.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we approved two things. I'm just pointing out that we have two dockets, separate subjects with the same docket number. Later on, we're gonna revisit 39, which is not the same thing.
Okay.
Doesn't have anything to do with the approval.
Does anybody else have a 36 in there?
I do not have a 36. 34 is next.
34's what I got.
That's part of the plat committee.
I got that.
Okay.
Okay, just for clarity,
Yes.
which one are we doing next? 34.
We're
about-
going to move to letter
How about
H.
34?
34, yes, and then that is South Highway 41. Also has an item under new business, rezoning that is docket number 41, number 2 under letter I, if you would like to have those two items heard concurrently.
Boy, this is getting clear as mud.
We'll get you through it.
Thank you. Let's try docket number 34, UZ05, 2021, 7105 South US Highway 41, from an R1 to a C3 Regional Commercial District.
Okay. That's fine, we'll do it that way. The petitioner is Dollar General, represented by Mr. Boucher. The proposed use is a Dollar General retail store of 10,640 square feet with parking area. The proposed zoning C3 Regional Commercial District. It is currently R1 Single Family Residential. It is located at 7105 South US Highway 41, Terre Haute. Now, the site is located across on South US Highway 41 from Howard Wayne Boulevard. The area is identified as suburban residential. Development priority would be in medium-intensity residential area. Surrounding uses are to the north, south, and west, R1, and to the east, a planned unit development. The petitioner is requesting rezoning from single-family to regional commercial for the proposed use of a Dollar General store. The C3 classification was necessary as the building was too large to be classified as C2. This portion of Eagle County is a solidly developed and stable residential district, punctuated only by agricultural uses. The nearest zoning other than residential or agricultural on the west side of Highway 41 is 0.4 miles to the north, which is a C2, or to the south, the Vigo County Industrial Park being M2, also being nearly 0.83 miles away. And there is a map that is attached to the staff report for reference. In 2017, which was UZ 09 of 17, the APC did act to uphold the district boundary line, halting the spread of commercial development further east into a residential neighborhood. In that case, just one lot was under petition for rezoning, which would have added additional 120 feet of C3 zoning. These parcels would add approximately 3 acres of C3 zoning. In October of 2018, UZ 12 of 18, the petitioner was denied a rezoning of the property to C7, which is a general commercial district, which would have also allowed commercial intrusion into a residential neighborhood. Staff does not support major commercial intrusions into established residential neighborhoods. Staff has recognized that the property does need to be subdivided. Questions as the stormwater drainage, commercial ingress-egress location are part of the plat, and a landscape plan to avoid light infiltration into the neighborhood and buffering are answered by the rezoning site plan. A single-family home was located at this location as recently as December 2014. Staff would argue in favor of keeping the lots residential and encouraging the developer to locate 0.38 miles to the southeast in an already zoned, subdivided, and commercially ready development location. So staff would offer an unfavorable recommendation and would encourage the applicant to locate to the southeast where commercially ready development sites are available. If a favorable recommendation is forwarded, staff would request the following conditions be applied: approval of the major subdivision, approval of a landscape and buffer plan, and design and approval from NDOT of a commercial drive cut. Okay. Would you like to hear the subdivision now?
So you're doing 721.
The subdivision? Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. The subdivision is
Is it docket 40?
40, yes, 23-21.
Okay.
Yep.
No, 40.
Docket number 40, file 23-21, RSBR US Highway 41. Yeah, that's the one you have as a handout.
Oh, okay.
Okay, So the property, as we know, is located immediately east of 38 South Crescent Street and immediately south of 32 South Crescent Street, with frontage along US Highway 41, 2.812 acres, road access along US Highway 41. The surveyor is Mr. Myers. The request is to replat portions of 2 lots into 1 new lot for commercial development. Sanitary sewer is available. The main fronting the property for water is located on the east side of the highway, and it must be utilized. The fire department has requested a new hydrant be placed on the west side of 41. It's not in the flood zone. The lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirement. A stormwater drainage plan will be required with the major subdivision. The new lot is R1. Rezoning will be needed for the proposed use. The plat indicates the C3 zoning. And of course, there is the petition to rezone the property to C3. If the rezoning is denied, then the plat will need to be corrected. All existing infrastructure should be in place. Approval of a commercial drive cut, along with approval from NDOT, will be needed. Of course, the approval of this plat is contingent upon the plat being recorded by April 7th, 2022, after the plat is dated and signed by the President and attested by the Secretary of the Commission. So we'll offer favorable on the following, with the following conditions: a commercial road cut permit, drainage and erosion control plan approval, approval of the rezoning, as well as approval from NDOT for commercial ingress and egress.
Okay, is petitioner present?
And with regard to the rezoning, we would ask for a favorable recommendation. The conditions mentioned by the Area Plan Commission staff seem reasonable with barriers and approval by NDOT as well as a stormwater drainage plan. Certainly we'll be willing to work with that, but the first matter at hand is to rezone it for an actual development. So we would ask for a favorable recommendation. And if the area plan wants to attach certain reasonable conditions to that, we would certainly accommodate that as well.
Okay, any questions from the planning commission? Anyone speaking in opposition to this petition? Yes, sir. Could you come to the microphone, please?
While he's coming up, Mr. President, you do have 2 letters of remonstrance placed in there in front of you. Both came to me via email, both citing similar concerns, one of which citing a local real estate broker who said that there are going to be 2-story duplex rentals in the place.
That's not, that's not this one.
I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Thank you.
So you're one of,
My mistake.
what I'm saying, that I oppose
Yeah, sure.
this store. It's a bad mix for our neighborhood. You're putting a store, splitting a subdivision right there in the middle of it. And then it's gonna cause water backup. We already have issues with water. Then if they go and build up this property, it's gonna cause more flooding. And then light pollution, you know, we're gonna have this right in our backyard. And then there's also some other property, prime property, just down the road, ready for something like this, besides putting it right in the middle of the neighborhood. They already have lights set up down there near Menards. State wouldn't have to put a crossover or lights or any improvements for that. There's fire hydrants down there. Yeah, fire department would have to put in fire hydrants. They're set up for it. I'm definitely opposed to them, College General going in there.
Okay. Just a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm not greatly familiar with this property, but it appears that it doesn't have any access to the subdivision. It only has access on 41, correct?
That's correct. That is correct. But property is kind of notched out on the subdivision. I have Deerfield 1 and Deerfield 2, and this property, they can enter it from 41. It was a private-owned lot as far as residential. They weren't part of the subdivision. But it is, but it isn't part of the subdivision. If you look out, the houses were all together right there.
Okay, so your concern is flooding in off of that?
Yes, sir. rainwater runoff. We already have problems. There's a kind of a drainage ditch already behind the house. And when it rains, it backs up. And one of the houses right off of Carlisle, just the other day, they had flooding in their basement. So if they don't improve the runoff over there, we're gonna have problems. Actually, somebody needs to do something with it now.
Well, I mean, just so you know, they'll have to have an improved drainage
Oh, yeah.
plan that
Yes, I
makes sure
understand
that
that.
there's no net increase runoff on the property, correct?
I'm just concerned about the noise back there. It's gonna be in my backyard, light pollution. I've been there almost 30 years. I wouldn't move next door to a dollar store, you know, if I had my choice, but I've been there for a long time.
Sure.
When we moved there, there was a house there, so.
I mean, I'm just trying to give you some
Oh,
information.
I understand, and I appreciate that.
And I think the other thing is, you approved the buffering relative to screening and that sort of thing against the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I understand
I just
that.
wanna make
I
you
see
aware
the
of it.
paperwork on that, but, you know, you put an 8-foot fence up against a 20-foot building, you're still gonna see it, you know? You can't hide a dollar store.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
My property right up to it, and I'm opposing, the drainage is an issue, the noise, lighting. We bought the house 3 years ago, quiet area.
Okay. Are you able to get names? Can I have your name and?
I'm Donna.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Pretty much everything, I guess that is my first two.
Okay.
And property value, what would that do? Property value. Our value down there, look at our backyard.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Somebody else will build it, build a piece of it, 5 years, out, and the commercial building sitting there.
Okay.
Especially out on, then, they come time. 3 miles down the road, it's very cool. Reason, building 5 years. First place.
Yeah, right.
It's across the street from on Toyota, across 41.
Right. Yeah. And then yeah. And then I'm very familiar. I have a couple friends and my family live back there. And the drainage issues are a legitimate concern because that area is a swamp at the backside of it. So I don't know. I mean, I know the plan would have to be approved for drainage and whatnot, but I mean, it's going to cost them an arm and a leg to get adequate drain for a good rainfall back there.
Okay. Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this? Yes, sir.
My name is Joe Mayfield. I'm at 38 South Crescent Street, parcel 84-09-402-208-000. It'd be a buyback program. Is there plans for retention? Well, all we're going to, it is an issue that we're going to, where is it? Business. Property owner, the property. Joe Mayfield,
Did you get that?
38 South Crescent. It needs correct.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Anything else? Any new items?
I think that's it.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to this petition? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this issue? If not, I have a motion.
I would make a motion to send an unfavorable recommendation according to staff.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Yes.
Unfavorable recommendation.
Thank you, guys.
Should we officially deny the plat or do something with the plat? That doesn't,
No, because the commissioners can still approve it.
I mean,
At
we
which
didn't
point in
even
time?
address it. There's no such thing as an unfavorable subdivision. We approve it or deny it.
Right.
So we haven't done that.
Also true.
That's why I'm just asking. I don't care.
You can approve it, and then the commissioners, if they decide to deny the rezoning, then it would nullify the
I just
subdivision.
wanted to know if we needed to do something because his motion was for the zoning, not for the subdivision, and we heard them both.
Well, I would say either table it pending the outcome of the commissioners' vote, or approve it conditionally upon the commissioners' vote.
Move to table the subdivision.
I have a second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Motion passes.
I own the land, and, we bought it a long time ago, and we were wanting at some point to make it a commercial lot because it is on the highway, and there is no, I know people don't like to build things around their houses. But legally, if it belongs to me and, we want to make something, there is everything along the highway built there. Means we have not stopped any other commercial land on that highway. Means just maybe less than 300 or 400 feet, there is a commercial building right there. Means I know the neighbors don't want to have a commercial building by their house. But what we do about it, the land now? The subdivision is not going to buy it if we have a seller. So how do we do a fair thing? Means, I know nobody wants to have store near the house, but if you want to sell it, we have a buyer who wants to buy it. Legally, means if somebody wants to make it commercial, means there are a lot of commercial buildings in residential areas. Means, is it a right thing to do because people don't want near their homes? I just want to know, means, what happens to us who own the building, who's going to lose a lot of money?
What happens to you immediately is that you have this, we're just a recommending body on rezoning. So you will go before the 3 county commissioners and they'll make the ultimate decision on whether they approve or deny it. We made a recommendation that they should deny it based on staff's report. So your very first issue would be to talk to the commissioners. Because they make the decision. We don't set policy like that. We just make a recommendation.
But you'll say it's unfavorable.
That is what we, that's
Just
what
because
this-
the neighbors don't want it, but not because you cannot make a building there. Because the neighbors don't want it, that's why you are unfavorable, not otherwise, because in US 41, what else you can make there?
The motion for an unfavorable recommendation was made in concurrence with staff's review.
Staff's review means?
Staff's review.
There are other people who reviewed, the area planning people reviewed it, that's what you're saying?
Our staff, yes.
Yeah.
That was their
Not because
recommendation.
of the people who opposed it.
Not because of what was said tonight.
Thank you.
Next docket is number 39.
39, version 2.
Version 2 to 39.
File 22-21,
Yes.
Knoll Meadows Secondary.
Here is where the handouts come into play. My apologies again for the confusion earlier. Okay. So, the property commences approximately 80 feet east of the intersection of East Moyer Drive and South Willowbrook Court, 10.16 acres, 42 lots. The developer, Mr. Jenkins, the surveyor, Mr. Keller. The applicant is requesting secondary plat approval of the 10.16 acres, creating 42 new lots for residential development. The department has approved. Public sewer is available and must be utilized, as most lots are too small for septic. Any new roads must be built to county road engineering. The primary plat indicated that the proposed development does fall within the noise contour surrounding the Terre Haute Regional Airport home and field. However, in response to the secondary plat, the airport did not indicate as such. Therefore, we believe that the property does not fall within the N2 and N3 contours. Public water is available, will be utilized. It's not in the flood zone. Moyer at this location is considered a secondary collector with a 60-foot proposed right-of-way, 30 feet of which will be on the north side. Stormwater drainage will be required. It is required with any major subdivision. The county engineer is going to require that an as-built certification be completed by the applicant's surveyor or engineer, indicating that the drainage plan has been installed as designed. Infrastructure development has commenced, and again, the engineering department still requests an as-built certificate be submitted for the stormwater drainage. We would offer a favorable on the secondary. The following conditions still needed to be met prior to recording. Bonding if it is still needed, and a couple of minor plat corrections.
Okay, Ryan, are you recusing yourself? Huh?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Okay. Mr. Shagley.
Good evening, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shagley. I'm an attorney at the Wright, Shagley & Lowry. As you may recall, I was here about a year ago for the rezoning of this property. That went through favorable through this body with really little to no opposition from the neighbors. I believe the president of the homeowner association appeared and really gave no feedback once he was aware that single-family homes are being built. Tonight, we're just simply here to approve the subdivision. To provide a little information to go along with what Jared mentioned, Greg Knoll is the owner of this property. He's proposing to do a 42-lot subdivision for 42 single-family homes. He's using a local contractor to build them. He's using Mr. Keller to design the lots. He's using a local bank to borrow approximately $9 to $10 million. So if you put that per lot basis, that's about $238,000 per lot. That's a substantial investment in this area. Along those lines, Mr. Knoll has about 180 other units in our community, all managed by Berkshire Hathaway. In anticipation of the approval by this board, another approval by this board, and the development of the subdivision, Berkshire has already advertised these homes for rent at the price point of between $2,000 and $2,225 per month. They've already received 4 applications for to lease one of these houses, and they haven't even been built yet, which kind of goes to the demand in our community for quality housing. And as a result, Mr. Knoll's here tonight asking for this subdivision to be approved. Based upon what information I received from the area plan office, Mr. Knoll has met the requirements of our code with regard to the subdivision. And based upon that, I don't believe, is our opinion, Mr. Knoll's opinion, that this subdivision should be approved. I do believe there are some people here in opposition. And I would hope that some of the comments I made would ease their concerns due to the fact that one of the letters that the area plan office received is that this was going to be duplexes of some sort. That is not the case in this situation. These are single-family homes that, as I mentioned earlier, of a price point of about $238,000 per lot, which is a substantial investment, which shows then the level of rents that they will be asking and demanding for these properties. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Shagley? Okay, is there anyone speaking in opposition? Okay. Can you come to the microphone and identify yourself, please?
There's two subdivisions adjacent. Yeah, our homes are on relatively large lots, valued, quite a bit more than what they're proposing there. When we came first time around.
Can you speak up?
When we came the first time around, it was our understanding that these homes would be for sale. And, they were still going to be pretty, like you said, pretty good investment in each one. So we didn't provide much opposition because it didn't sound too bad. But then there was a change of use sign put across from I actually own a property right across from it too, but so I would see this sign every time I went there. And it said change of use, and then everybody started saying that they're going to be rental units because Berkshire Hathaway was involved and all that. What we didn't realize until we were just standing outside is that single family is not necessarily dictate that it's for sale or for rent. It can be either one. Is that correct? That it's a single family. The zoning, as far as the zoning goes. I understand that, but I mean, that zoning doesn't dictate whether it's going to be for sale or rented.
Correct.
There's no.
It's set up right now to be for sale.
Okay. Are there any covenants or specs created so far on the square footage of these? How many bedrooms, bathrooms, and all that kind of thing?
I don't have all the details on each unit, but again, as I mentioned at the price point, looking at 2 and 3 bedrooms. I'm not an expert in the real estate market, but I don't believe it could demand $1,000 per single bedroom.
One of our concerns is,
Okay.
there's going to be.
Let me interrupt a moment. Can you address the planning
I'm
commission,
sorry.
please, with your concerns?
One of our concerns is that's a lot of people in a small area. It's pretty densely populated with 42 homes, and we're going to very possibly have supposedly 500 new workers over at the casino, and it's kind of maybe not going to happen, but hard not to worry about maybe these houses being packed full of 8 or 10 people, that are working over there, sharing the rent, and working over there. And when that happens, then you got cars everywhere. You can't mow, you can't maintain the property, and with Berkshire Hathaway managing it, hopefully that type thing will not be happening. But that's what we're a little concerned about. Our area, our 2 subdivisions have great big lots. They're beautiful, and now we're just going to have all this just jammed. These are small lots. They're less than 2 tenths, and they're going to put, pretty good sized houses on them. So they're going to really be packed in there. So I suppose there's probably nothing we can do about it, but the concern is there, and we felt like it should be expressed. It'd be a great place for that guy to take about 10 lots off and build nice houses like ours and sell them off, but I suppose he's probably not going to be of a mind to do that. I've owned rental property, and I've built a lot of houses to sell, and I've always been, very, very conscious of the neighbors where I've built and where I've rented things, and, I'd like to, I talked to Mr. Knoll's brother before he passed. He seemed like a great guy. He was eager to give me all the information I wanted, and so, I don't know, hopefully it'll go and be decent. But we didn't know if there was going to be, concrete drives. Howard, do you know any details?
I don't have all the details. All I know is Mr. Knowles hired a great developer to build these.
Yeah, Rick's friend, he's a friend of mine.
So, you know, this is a new company in town.
Right.
As I mentioned, Mr. Mill has a business.
Right.
All managed work fire, so that, the grass will get cut. The houses will be maintained. Should somebody, concern.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard,
Yeah,
let's kind of quit this dialogue back and forth. and let's
Would you
start
like
this-
for me to sit down now?
I mean, we normally run this meeting, you ask the planning commission.
I'm sorry.
And address the issues with
I
us.
kind of, he's represented our neighborhood before too, and I've had rapport with him before, so I know he's kind of, I was kind of hoping he was walking up here to talk for us, but
Yeah, okay.
he's on the other side.
So, if I can reiterate, your concerns are the density
Yes.
and too many people living in the same house that may not
That's
be related.
two of the big ones, yeah.
Okay. If it meets the subdivision control ordinance, I'm not sure there's anything we can do about that. We can't make a rule and then say arbitrarily, you met the rule, but now we don't like the rule and you have to change it.
Right.
Am I off base here? Now. Okay, and this is primary approval.
No, secondary.
This is secondary.
This is
So this
secondary. Is that what the change of use means on that sign? I was a little,
I thought it just said primary approval. Did I read it wrong?
on the sign, on the property, it said change of use.
Primary plat.
That was from the original rezoning. From the original rezoning.
I just don't know the lingo.
Just we would,
The second thing is,
Well, they did that the first time, didn't they?
still the same thing, over to secondary approval.
okay, the second thing is, can you lend anything to this 5-bedroom house? And I mean, I don't.
Yeah, we'd heard rumors like that too. They're gonna be like 5 small bedrooms and a bunch of them. Ryan will know, because I mean, Rick's, I haven't seen Rick in the last few weeks. I was gonna pick his brain, but
I mean, I just want to know, it's a new concept if you build a subdivision with the intent of having 2 or 3 families living in a single house.
No, that would be multifamily.
Do what?
That would be multifamily.
That'd be multifamily, and then you would be violating the single-family
right.
zoning in the property, so, I just want to put this to rest for everybody if I can. Am I off base here?
Well, it's
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, a question from the audience was, and that's where you would call the area plan office and say this property is not being used towards that's where so if you find a situation, and I apologize, Mr. President, for addressing the crowd, but, up to a situation where 20 people are living in a single family, and you call the area plan office and they would enforce, because they'd be in violation of no different than if 50 people moved into your home.
Yeah.
Because your company is somebody, don't move anybody.
Right. That's the thing. We kind of wanted to understand, or I don't know anything about any of that, and you just worry about what could happen. And again, like she said, Berkshire Hathaway's on us, which is excellent, and all that. But again, then after it gets really rolling, who polices that? And it's good to know that we can call this body and.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, is this the one that you got in on late? No. It's not? Got called in on this case?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay,
I just got back to town.
okay. I really intend to run this meeting in a way that whoever the person is here, whether it be the attorney or the remonstrator, are addressing the planning commission and address your issues to us.
Right.
We'll have a chance to deal with them later. I'll give you a little bit of latitude here since.
Well, I apologize.
Things are going on
This
here.
is not my thing, so.
And we're going to attempt to answer some of your questions since this kind of has a different sort of situation with it, okay?
Right.
Is there
right.
anything else that you need to understand or concern you have?
I think that's about it.
Does anybody else have a different issue? Okay, what determines the size of the lot? Is that your question? Jerry?
Yeah, there are two ways lot size are determined, well, three. One is the zoning classification, two is the available services. So they can range anywhere from a minimum of 5,500 square foot per lot up to 20,000 square feet per lot, depending on available services. In this case, they have available sewer and water, and in the zoning classification, they can go down as small as 5,500 square feet, and according to the plat, all of them do exceed that number.
Yeah. Do you understand what he just said? Okay. Because we have city water, city sewer, it allows the square footage to be reduced because you don't need the extra space.
Yeah, we all have septic systems.
Okay.
So,
Is there
thank-
anyone
no,
else
Thank
has
you
a
very much
question?
for your time. Sorry, I didn't know exactly.
No, I mean, listen, is there, anyone else wants to speak to this issue? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Darren Johnson. I'm the homeowners president for Homeowner Association for North Willowbrook. I was the one who was last time. On behalf of a lot of the neighbors that we have that I'm representing, I think a lot of people would have shown up the first time if we'd understand. We don't have a problem with the idea of it being a single-family home, as we did get clarification tonight, as you guys have informed us, with the rental stipulation. We did not understand the single-family home classification would allow rentals. That's our main concern with it. We're like everybody in town, we want infrastructure coming in, we want money injected into the community. But I think one of the main concerns is Mr. Allen talked about is density of people. Also with rentals, you have a lot more turnover. You can ask a lot of the people, I'm sure in the crowd back here, how long they've had houses owned in North Willowbrook or South Willowbrook. You tend to buy a house for a long period of time.
Sure.
Okay, I admit I'm one of the younger members in there at 10 years. Right? That's still a time. Houses in our subdivision don't last when they go for sale very long. So there's a very large concern with rentals being there and the turnover of people. We've already had some members of our subdivision leave and move out because they heard and they were afraid of that. And we're afraid we're going to have more of that. So while we're talking about investment, we're definitely concerned with rentals. I mean, we can talk about Berkshire Hathaway, we can talk about how they're going to control it, but that's just now and today. What happens next year? What happens if Berkshire Hathaway decides they don't want to do it? They don't want to manage it. I mean, those things, we've all seen rentals start up and start going down. And it can happen to houses too. I'm not going to blow smoke anywhere, right? Houses can do that. Someone can buy a house, not take care of it, goes down. But there is a concern for the rentals and people coming and going, being there, not, how long they're going to have it. You normally do a rental for a year, so we're going to have a lot of influx of people, a lot of transients coming in around. That's concerning for us as safety.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. You own your own home? Can you rent your own home?
Yes.
Unless the covenants don't allow. That's a private issue. Has nothing to do with us. That has to do with what your covenants in your subdivision specify, or what the covenants in this subdivision specify. There are people that like covenants, there's people that don't like covenants. So just so we can clarify that point at this juncture, okay? I guess what I'm trying to tell you is there is only so much that we govern here, okay? And one of them is we administer the Subdivision Control Act. If you meet the Subdivision Control Act and there's not some glaring problem that would preclude health, welfare, and safety of that thing going in, and that's the key point, health, welfare, and safety. It's not just because you don't like the trends of what's going on or whatever else. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. What I'm trying to tell you is, we're here for your concerns, and we're here for the person that owns the property's concerns, okay? And protect their rights also.
Yeah, I think we would have had more of a turnout if we'd understood that stipulation before. And like I said, I know that's not your area, your responsibility to know that, but I think we thought it would have been a different zoning classification if it would have been used for rentals. When we were talking about subdivisions, I think most people commonly would think houses for sale, right? Our subdivision, the other subdivision.
Sure.
Understand the stipulation, obviously, anybody can own a house and move out and rent it, unless you're in a subdivision such as ours that prevents that.
I mean, I'm just laying it on the line, there's a paradigm shift that's kind of come about, and that is, a lot of people just want to rent anymore, they just don't want to own something.
Idle Creek's still selling a lot of them, I hear.
And, I beg the question of, what do you do if you can't find somebody to buy your house? But you got a lot of people that'd be willing to rent it for the next 5 years, I don't know.
Yeah, we understand. Like I said, we're, and you're exactly right. I mean, we just want to share our concerns with it.
Sure.
Is anybody being a homeowner, if you had a rental next door, whether it's downtown Terre Haute or out there where we're at, I mean, there's a concern with the influx of people turning over. Because again, you don't rent a house typically, unless you're in Florida on the coast somewhere, maybe for years.
Yeah.
So just want to voice our concerns from our subdivision.
Sure, and we appreciate that. We're not trying to be insensitive, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak to this issue? Yes, sir.
I just have a question. You missed the subdivision control ordinance.
Hey, wait a minute, you gotta come up here. I'm getting older and I can't hear very well.
Sorry, thought I'd carry a little better. You've mentioned the subdivision control ordinance a couple times. Where can I find that?
He's got it.
It's also on the county's website? Okay, all right, that was all I had.
Or the county website. Okay, anyone else? If not, I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank
Okay,
you very
the
much.
next item is docket number 38, file 21, 2000, or Shamrock Acres 2 lot. Let's take about a 2-second break. How about a minute? I think at some point people need to understand that it's just not whether you like it. Yeah, I know.
Or what you're gonna benefit from is that guy's personal. That's personal to you. It is not yours. We're not trying to figure out how to make it.
If they really wanted to, they could buy the lot.
That's absolutely good. Yeah.
Exactly right. Is this the next group, Penny?
This is everybody? Okay. That's it.
You can come in now.
Yeah, I do. What's he saying?
I have no idea. He wants something about your phone. I don't know what he wants. You have your phone.
Can you approach?
You're not supposed to bring your phone in here. Mine's up. You shave next
Okay. Believe me, I was lost. But thank you very much. Okay, if we can get started again. I think everybody's aware we lost a city police officer today. And I'm going to ask for a moment of silence in his behalf, in his family's behalf. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yes, sir. No kidding. Very sorry. Very sorry. Okay, I think we're on 38.
Yes.
We are. Okay. Docket 38, file 21, 2021, Shamrock Acres 2 lot.
Yep. The property is bounded by 19th Street on the west and Morton Street on the north. 0.55 acres, 2 lots, Harrison Township. Surveyor, Mr. Little. The request is to subdivide a previously unsurveyed tract for residential development. This is a primary and secondary request. Sanitary sewer is available and must be utilized. Public water is also available with a water main on 19th. It is not in the flood zone. The lots exceed the minimum lot size requirement. The area is well served with utilities. A stormwater drainage plan is typically required with major subdivisions. The property is currently zoned R2 two-family. Single-family attached and detached homes are permitted. No additional infrastructure should be needed. The City of Terre Haute provides water and sewer at this location. A stormwater drainage plan is typically required with major subdivisions. The City of Terre Haute Engineering Department has opted to waive this requirement. The approval of this plat is contingent upon the plat being recorded by April 7th, 2022, after the plat is dated and signed by the President and attested by the Secretary of the Commission. So we offer a favorable on the primary and the secondary request, with the only condition being road cut permits if needed.
Okay, is the petitioner present? Anything, Vince? Anything you want to add or any questions you have? Any questions from the Planning Commission? Anyone speaking in opposition to this petition? If not, do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Next item is docket 37, UZ 06, 2021, South Farmersburg, Terre Haute, from a PUD to an A1 agricultural rural residential. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. The property owner is Sari Solutions Cooperative Incorporated, represented by Mr. Lind. The proposed use is accessory to agricultural operations in the area. Proposed zoning is, of course, A1. It is currently part of a planned unit development. The property is located approximately 3,880 feet south of the intersection of East State Road 246 and South Farmersburg Street. It doesn't have an actual address. It is actually vacant. The closest known address is 500 2nd Avenue, Farmersburg, Indiana. The recommended use is rural preservation. Development priority is rural residential. The area is served only with limited utilities, and street access would be from South Farmersburg Street. To the north is the planned unit development, also A1. To the south, it's Sullivan County. To the west is A1, and to the east is A1, as well as A1 with a mining overlay. And it is a scattered residential homes with open space in this area. The subject property was a portion of a larger tract rezoned in 2008, which was UZ 05 of 08, as a part of a planned unit development for the production of fuel-grade ethanol. That project never materialized, leaving the planned unit development intact. Unlike a planned development in the city, a planned unit development does not revert to the original zoning if it does not materialize. It is believed that the proposed use would fall under the guidance of Section 8 of the UZO permitted uses, which is Section 801B, which includes uses accessory to agricultural operations in the area. A similar use was approved with docket number 82 file 56-18 Effingham Equity. That property has frontage along West State Road 246. This rezoning is subject to compliance with all applicable health and safety rules and regulations of the subdivision control ordinance, as well as any state or federal regulations surrounding the use of storage of caustic chemicals, as well as nurse tanks. Barn downs will be permitted but are not anticipated, as well as any other uses identified under Indiana Code 36-746-1661. Based upon the above findings, staff offers a favorable recommendation so long as no property owners within 1/2 mile have objections.
Mr. Flint.
I am Jeff Lind, Lind Law Firm. I too just came in, I took time to shave this morning. I represent Sirius Solutions Cooperative. I have employees come to speak if there are any questions from either you or the public. This was, as staff noted, rezoned to plan unit development for an ethanol plant that was never built. It was agricultural, simply want to take it back to agricultural, as they serve the needs of the agricultural community in that area, and anybody who wants to drive down there.
Any questions from the planning commission? Anyone speaking in opposition?
Have a motion. Move for a favorable recommendation.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is, no, I already did that.
Got one left.
The 41. Okay. I want to thank everyone. That number 37 in the beginning really threw me for a loop.
I still haven't got that
Yeah. I got to keep better track of. Okay, docket number 41, UZ 07-2021, 15002 South US Highway 41 from a C2 to a C3 regional commercial district.
The petitioner is Mr., I believe I'm saying that, Herndon? Thank you. The proposed use is fireworks, sale, garden shop, crafts, and retail. It's currently C2 Community Commercial District. They're requesting C3 Regional Commercial District. Location, as mentioned, is 15002 South US Highway 41, Terre Haute. The site is located on South US Highway 41, approximately 1,500 feet south of French Drive. This area is indicated as rural preservation and has limited utilities available. Surrounding uses to the north and south are residential, suburban, west and east, A1 or agricultural. The commercial zoning of this location is an original zoning. The previous owner, Slater Farms Incorporated, subdivided the property in 2019. File number 26-19, Slater Farms 2 lot was approved along with Board of Zoning Appeals approval for 5 variances. Board of Zoning approval 719V, those being a 20-foot reduction on the north side and south side from the 20-foot side buffer yard setback, a 20-foot reduction from the 20-foot rear buffer yard setback. Use the established landscaping and privacy fence for landscaping, a variance from the dustless hard surfacing to continue with the gravel surface, and a community commercial district as set forth in section 902F 2G2, section 14A3, and section 17A4 of the Unified Zoning Ordinance for Vigo County. Commercial entities have operated this location for many years. The proposed use will have little impact greater than that of previous uses. We offer a favorable recommendation.
Okay, the petitioner is present. Anything you'd like to add or any questions you have? Any questions from the planning commission? And there is no one here to speak in opposition. So, do I have a motion? Second, favor, aye? Aye. Who was the second? Oh, that white did it, yes. Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah.
Adjourn?
Oh.
Have a second?
I love those houses. I drive by there.
I gotta tell you, I was looking at my packet, and when I saw 37, that I think no one else had, because he didn't have it.
Truck and a nice.
You didn't have it.
And they, he's retired.
And I'm sitting here going, did I bring the wrong? And then I thought, oh my God,